evening. I'm Alicia Richards.
I'm Valerie Pritchett. Thank you for joining us. From the January 6th committee hearing tonight, Congressman Scott Perry asked for a presidential pardon.
The committee is beginning to reveal the findings of their investigation in a series of hearings. Tonight's was the first. The congressional investigators said Scott Perry, along with other Republican congressmen, sought pardons after the insurrection. Perry has repeatedly said he did nothing wrong. So why seek a pardon? His spokesperson told ABC 27 tonight that the claim is a, quote, ludicrous and soulless lie. Here's Ike Ejiochi on what the committee calls an attempted coup. Many revelations heard straight from people who were Trump loyalists in the White House.
Tonight, a new look at the carnage of January 6th. Never seen video from a filmmaker who was embedded with the far-right group, the Proud Boys, on that day. Protesters clashing with law enforcement, breaching security, clashing through windows and doors to get inside to try to halt the election certification. After almost a year's worth of compiling evidence from over 1,000 closed-door interviews and 100,000 documents, Chairman Benny Thompson and Vice Chair Liz Cheney offering a roadmap of what to expect in the coming weeks. Thompson saying the attack was part of a sprawling multi-step conspiracy aimed at overturning the presidential election.
January 6th was the culmination of an attempted coup, a brazen attempt, as one rioter put it shortly after January 6th, to overthrow the government.
Thompson showing several clips of pre-recorded video testimony of some of Trump's closest allies and family members that prove Trump was told that his claims surrounding the 2020 election were not true.
I remember he delivered to the president pretty blunt terms that he was going to lose.
Including a clip of former Attorney General Bill Barr using an expletive to describe Trump's baseless claims of election fraud.
The idea of saying the election was stolen and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was bull.
Also, Trump's own daughter, Ivanka, saying Barr's words also convinced her that the election was secure.
It affected my perspective. I respect Attorney General Barr. So I accepted what he was saying.
Vice President Pence also the subject of the first day of hearings. Testimony shows he was the one who contacted the Pentagon to get the National Guard and other law enforcement agencies onto the Capitol, not former President Trump. On Capitol Hill, Ike Ejiochi, ABC News.
We spoke with Congressman Scott Perry earlier today before the committee revealed that he asked for a presidential pardon.
And Dennis Owens also spoke with a leading Democrat who says the hearings are crucial so the American people can hear the truth.
The American people need to hear the truth about the greatest attempt to overthrow our government, obviously in my lifetime and your lifetime.
Democrats like Madeleine Dean say democracy hangs in the balance. Republicans like Scott Perry call the committee illegitimate and the televised hearing a political hit job.
This is a made-for-TV production to try and tug at your heartstrings and to try and change your opinion of what the facts are. You're not going to see both sides of the story.
Do you not have legitimate intellectual curiosity as to what happened, why it happened, and how it happened?
Sure, I do. Absolutely. I think we all do, Dennis. This is a narrative that is being promoted for one side, by one side, for one reason. Sure, we have curiosity.
But Perry, who was the first to officially challenge the certification of Pennsylvania's electors and who has continually questioned PA's election law, has ignored the committee's subpoena to testify.
If they throw out all these ballots, Mr. Perry should not have been sworn in. There must have been such massive fraud that we couldn't trust his own election. It's illogical. It's based on fealty to a failed president. And what are they afraid of? Come forward.
In 2020 and the primary in 2022, Scott Perry was a winner. Are you saying you have questions about that?
I do have questions.
He thinks he won by a greater margin than what's been reported. He also says he met with Donald Trump this week to discuss what he calls Biden's failed policies. He insists the January 6th committee's mission is to demonize the former president.
And make anybody that either voted for President Trump or supported his policies is now vilified and canceled and banished and silenced.
These guys are running scared because they have pledged fealty not to our Constitution, not to our electoral process, but to an autocrat who is a failure.
The committee has text messages from Perry and know of meetings with Trump officials who were trying to overturn the 2020 election. A Dillsburg congressman is in the middle of this national story. Should his constituents expect more unflattering things to come out?
I'm sure it's going to be unflattering, but it's likely to be untrue, or at least it's going to be a mischaracterization for the purpose of destroying reputations and besmirching people.
Scott, you're a very forceful advocate for yourself, as I'm hearing. Why not just show up at the committee and do that very same thing?
Because it's unfair, Dennis. If I thought I would get a fair shake, I'd be happy to do it.
Dennis Owens, ABC 27 News.